Okay, we're on our last page here. It says use exponent laws, question 28, use exponent laws to simplify 8th root of x times the 5th root of x cubed. Exponent laws we can use to simplify that. We can't do anything with it as a radical, just as it is. We have to change it to an exponent to make it nicer. So the 8th root of x is x to the 1 over 8. And the 5th root of x cubed is x to the 3/5. So these two are being multiplied by each other. This is the same as x to the 1/8 plus 3/5. And 1/8 plus 3/5 is, it's a 5. 8 and 5, they don't have anything below 40 as a common denominator. So it'll be 40. And 1/8 will be 5/40ths, 3/5 will be 24/40ths, so that'll be 29/40ths. And I don't think 29/40ths will reduce at all, so that's our answer. Which we could also write, if you like, as the 40th root of x to the power of 29. Sure. For question 29, I had to redraw the triangle here because it didn't come out somehow. It says it's an isosceles triangle, which means that these two sides are the same length. Doesn't matter for this question, but there we go. It says, what's the length of BD? And you can't read on this diagram, but BD is the part I've highlighted here, this line at the bottom. So we know the height of this triangle, and we know we're looking for this section here, and we know the hypotenuse. It's a right triangle. So for a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is c squared. We know c has to be the hypotenuse, and a and b can be either the other two legs. So if we rearrange to find one of the two legs, a squared, call this one a, call this one b. Come on, why can't I call it b? B. So if we're looking for the missing side, a squared is c squared minus b squared. And if a squared is c squared minus b squared, the root of a squared is the root of c squared minus b squared. So we don't know a, but we know we've got it isolated on one side, the equal sign, so we're in good shape. C, the hypotenuse, we know is 10. B, we know is 5. So 10 squared is 100. 5 squared is 25. 100 minus 25 is 75. So root 75 is how long a is. So a is root, oh come on, root 75 long. But it asks us as a mixed radical, so we need to go one more step. So we need to factor 75. 75 is 3 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. So we've got our 3 prime factors. So root 75 is the same as root 3 times 5 times 5. This is a pair, it can come on out. So that's 5 root 3. So our answer will be that the length from B to D is 5 root 3. And I guess it would be feet long. And you can always double check in something like geometry. You can plug this back into your Pythagorean formula. 5 root 3 squared, and then you add in 5 feet squared, and take the root. You should get 10. You can always double check. And I think our last question, a square has an area of 40 centimeters. So if we've got a square, the area is 40 centimeters squared, sorry. Determine the perimeter of the square to the nearest tenth of a centimeter. So nearest tenth of a centimeter means we're dealing with decimals. That could be nice. So we've got area of a square equal to one side squared. Base times height, but they're the same as each other. And the perimeter of a square is 4 times the length of one side, or side plus side plus side plus side. So we're looking for perimeter. The area we do know, and the side we don't. So from this one, I could say that the root of the area is the same as the root of s squared, or I can say the root of the area is the same as one side. Once I've got this, I can substitute it in where I see an s over here. So for the perimeter, I have 4 times s, and I just figured out that s is the same as root a. So 4 times root a. What's root a? Root 40. And root 40, since we're dealing with just decimals, root 40 is 6.32. Four, 5, etc. And 4 times that number is 25.298, etc., which to the nearest tenth is 25.3. And all along this was in centimeters. So our answer for number 30 should be 25.3 centimeters per side. And you can always go back and check if you square that. Do you get the right area? Well, if you divide it by 4, then square it. Do you get the right area? Which is 40, you should. And that's one way to double check. All right, so that's the assignment. These videos are only going to be up for a day or so, and I'll take them down.